Nowadays, people are just commuting a lot more. A lot of jobs are moving into the big cities, and it's typically cheaper to live outside. According to the Washington Post, the American commute keeps getting longer. Right now it averages almost 27 minutes. A long commute can become very costly. That's why I decided to come up with a list of 10 commuter cars for less than $10,000. We'll start with the ones anybody would recommend: 2009 Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. Either of these cars can be found with about 70,000 miles on them for $10,000. Although 70,000 miles may seem pretty high to some people, it's the highest on this entire list. You gotta remember that these are Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. All you have to do is change the oil and put gas in them, and they're extremely hard to kill. And that's not to mention the great resale value of both of these options. If you ever have to sell it or your commute comes to an end, you really won't lose a whole lot of money with these. Both of these have about the same gas mileage, with 22 in the city and 31 on the highway, and they offer a very smooth ride. But don't expect any fun driving dynamics. These are really just meant for commuting. The next car on the list is the 2012 Hyundai Sonata. I'm going to be honest with you guys, the only reason why I put this car on the list is because of its warranty. The basic coverage warranty is 5 years and 60,000 miles, and the powertrain warranty is 10 years and 100,000 miles. This goes a long way when you can find one with 60,000 miles for about $10,000. The Sonata gets 24 in the city and 35 miles per gallon on the highway, and basically you'll be covered with warranty for about 40,000 miles on the powertrain. And that's with more modern technology than the 2009s. After that, it's low-end reliability prediction, you're on your own. The next car on the list is the 2013 Toyota Corolla. This is definitely one of the best compact sedans that you can buy. You can find one with about 40,000 miles on it for $10,000. It gets 27 miles per gallon in the city and 34 on the highway. So not only is it going to save you money in gas mileage, it'll also last forever, and you bought it at 40,000 miles for $10,000. The only downside that I can think of this car is with 132 horsepower, it'll be the most boring thing you ever drive. But hey, it'll make you rich. Next on the list is the 2015 Chevy Cruze. And you heard that right, 2015. I apologize to the Chevy faithful, but these things depreciate like rocks. However, that's good for the consumer. You can find these things in the 20,000 mile range. They get 28 miles per gallon in the city and 42 on the highway. They have an energetic turbocharged engine and a 5-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. But given Chevy's track record, that's not to say you won't be paying for other things that break. But even so, it'll be a fun car to get you where you need to go. Up next, we have the 2012 Honda Civic. Now, I don't mean to sound like I have any Honda bias, but they make some reliable cars. You can find a Civic with about 50,000 miles on it for $10,000, and again, that sounds a little bit high, but remember, it'll last. The car itself is a good-sized sedan. It gets 28 in the city and 39 miles per gallon on the highway. And really the only gripes I've ever heard about them is that the AC has premature problems and the engine's underpowered. But that doesn't stop people from doing some pretty cool stuff with them. Up next would be my car of choice if I could fit, the 2011 Honda CR-Z. When it was announced back in 2012, Honda fans were thrilled. They thought it was going to be like the next Honda S2000. It seemed too good to be true when Honda promised this car would have the driving dynamics of a roadster and the fuel economy of a Civic. It was hard to believe, that is, until they announced the engine has 122 horsepower. As comically as that sounds, it is still pretty fun. It does handle well, and it's kind of like a transport pod for two people. It gets 35 miles per gallon in the city and 39 on the highway, and you can find them with about 35,000 miles on them. You could also turn it into a project car of sorts when you're finished commuting as well. Up next is the big and mighty Honda Fit. Yeah, another Honda, I know. All they make is commuters, guys. You can find these with about 30,000 miles on them. They get 28 in the city and 35 miles per gallon on the highway. And you're basically looking at a really low mileage car that'll last you a long time for a good price. I'd say the one downside is probably its size. It'll likely just fit you and probably not a family. But who says size matters? As much as it pains me to include, up next is the 2016 Nissan Versa. Financially, this is probably one of the smartest cars you can buy. You can almost get them new for $10,000. The Versa is rated for 31 in the city and 40 miles per gallon on the highway. The interior has all the bare necessities that you need to drive, and as far as how it looks, I'm sure it has a nice personality. Lastly is the all-wheel drive 2010 Subaru Impreza. Not to be confused with its evil twin, the WRX, the Subaru Impreza is meant for commuting. Subarus have strong reliability and great resale value. Although its gas mileage may not be class-leading, its all-weather abilities far make up for it. The only ironic downside is that the brand most capable for winter is also the most susceptible to rust. Thanks for watching. Remember, this is just a handful of all the commuters that are out there. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and until next time,